productive man hours affecting our economy to go and queue again and resubmit biometrics simply because egos could not be managed. We will do a proper SIM re-registration again, but this time nobody's going to queue because common sense will prevail, expertise will prevail, and logic will work. The MNOs hold a certain set of data. We would use technology to cross-reference that against the NIA's database and all biometric databases, and only instances where there are disparities would require you visiting an MNO shop. Because today, as we speak, the telcos cannot truly verify who is holding their SIM card.
107.3
Asaasepa no.
When I someone at George, some George, and this answer me to Jan and which was actually which I said, Ghana had my dear Bako will be able to send data. Yes, data wiring. And you will be able to data no soon. I auto 1 giga. Will be internet rubber house as a Facebook page and one base maybe you know not connect NASA. Some George, that's one idea said, so may I swap for her and get audience some so my Ghana had with the idea back also by ye. And try and confirm our few about and cook about it. What did you about what ya? Et me up one data and some and also what you from pa was this data no. And they will be a user no board and to her enough yet.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I hold the view respectfully that we could get more value for what we pay as a country for data. I've already begun conversations on the instructions of His Excellency the President with stakeholders to ensure that we get more value. More value could be in reduction in prices or increases in offerings. So it could be that if you paid, for example, 100 Ghana cedis and you got 100 gig of data, we could maintain the same 100 Ghana cedis but give you 150 gig of data. So that's more value. Or the 100 gig could drop to 75 cedis. There are different models around it. But like I said in an earlier answer, we're working around what goes into the cost element, largely electricity, and some work has begun on that. So yes, we hope to see prices of data hopefully drop before the end of this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to Honorable Shabu.
Asaasepa no.
When I someone at George and which was Sanchez said, I dear Bako wanted the war position. Now I'll cry the woman yamba bemu yeno. And this Amayo Konisha see a bon and training pa. And say, Sa emran we bet me ama quine. Emma Barney ba entimin ware. Bemani Bementim Warren Metre anti-LGBTQR plus bill no. What I say about that chairman woman to answer my emra. Oh my God. What did you want to pay? One more thing at me. Said I be a side you by Embracasia pa. Oh my God, I have never gone Cobase. I dear no. One will any water sa and for so be to me muscle. Some George dress one idea. While by her Amasa LGBTQ plus bill no. Etimi aba se be ya Ghana ni bia ebetimi abon ho ban na fa yesom ene agidia wodro no yetimi abon ho ban kese pa.
President Mahama said, I do think that we should have a conversation on it again so that all of us, if we decide to move that bill forward, move it forward with a consensus. My position is that that bill is a critical part of our national life. Ghanaian family values, our children's innocence must be protected. In this 9th Parliament, that bill will be reintroduced, either as a private member's bill or as government's bill. I will work with government. If it's government's bill, if it's not and it's my bill, I will bring it back again. Because my chiefs seated here, the chiefs from Ningo and Pram Pram, supported me in bringing that bill in the 8th Parliament. They've asked me to reintroduce it in the 9th Parliament. I will do so. Thank you.
107.3
Asaasepa no.
When I Ningo Pram Pram Rasha Biani, one who can jam Swafwa. War by her and Kitamudi, any above for Kwan would be to offer so a tunkra. Measure Minister for Communication, Digitalization and Innovation. Someone at Tejo, you are the team Kunyamua. Yeah, to know my Ghana Russia Nebusua and some of the doors of Pan, as I said. You don't interest and someone would do, and they air cost of my Ghana Russia Fiamuno. The Samuel Cassay, the Afan Markin. You are near Russia Fiamuno, Dom Kumano Ban, Denny Wano, and I do so I want to Papayano na. Yabakwana for Yaquaquotia and 70 said the Abobano. Na yetimi abumesan se ade no amanfo kire se o de 200 mo na o de afa o de 200 o de afa se de amanfo ni ma fanyoma akenda no wo kire se ade no otimi nwunu na Sam George wo ba be sani mu otimi kekere na ba be ye ne trekane ade abusua yenko na afesisi a no mrahye bia fie mu ensema wodo ekoso no yenko tie bi emra. yɛkɔ na afei yɛkɔ akɔhwɛ san sɛ ɛnɔɔma na ɛbɛbɔ ba no abusua ɛyɛ dɛ paa emu ohwam nso Samuel na Ate George ɛte nkonnwa mu a ɛnɛ yi wɔn tototo na no ɔman Ghana mmara hyɛ fie mu a ɛnsɛm ahodoɔ efiri hɔ ba no yɛbɛkɔ na afei yɛkɔ akɔtie ne nyinaa ne sɛ ɛnɛ yi papa yi ɛtena nkonnwa mu a na yɛhyehyɛ sɛ ebɛtumi atoto na sɛ ebɛtumi aboa ma soyɛ no a wɔkɔda ano no saa soyɛ no yɛbɛhu ne sɛ wɔsɛ fata sɛ odi mu sɛ yɛnyini nto ɔman Ghana mmara hyɛ fie hɔ no mo na afei wɔn kɔsom sɛ soafo a wɔrehwɛ yɛkita wɔdie nsɛm soɔ no yɛbɛkɔ na afei nsɛm ahodoɔ efiri hɔ ba ne nyinaa no bere pa mu no yɛnsa ka bia yɛtumi abɔ ne mu nkyerɛmu adiam waso kusa otu Asaasepa ɔhane nso akyiri pɔm yɛnsa kasa fidie so akokoraba nyaako aborɔ no medi menam ne kaseɛ hu namnam hɔ yi yɛntoa so ne anyim ɔman Ghana mmara hyɛ fie hɔ no mo na nɔpa yi a ɛna soafo wɔn no hwehwɛ ɛyɛ mpɔtɛmpɔtɛm ɛne ɔbɔ adeɛ ne pansɛm soɔ onumunyamfoɔ Mutala Mohammed wɔn nso kɔgya ne dwa na yɛbisabisa ne nsɛm ahodoɔ kakra san sɛ asɔre na ɔkɔda no no ɛho hia paa na ɛno na papa yi bɛkyerɛ mu kyerɛ sɛ wɔn de adeɛ baako ɛda n'akoma so no sɛ wohwɛ ɔman Ghana hanom a ɛnsasesɛm animu nɔɔma ahodoɔ ɔbɔ adeɛ ne pa no wɔde adum mu no ɛho hia yɛ kɛseɛ paa ne nyinaa ne sɛ wɔɔba a wɔbɛhwɛ sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ɔman mu no nyinaa yɛbɛtumi afa kwan pa a ɛfam agudie no a ɛmfa mmara kwan so amanfoɔ bebree na ɛtu a wɔn nya ho mfasoɔ a wɔman no nso bɔ ka no yɛtumi ahwɛ kwan pa bɛtumi afa so sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ ɛnkɔnkɔsɛ yɛ mpɔtɛmpɔtɛm ahodoɔ ne yɛntie nsɛm a wɔnumnyamfoɔ Mutala Mohammed wɔde to edwa.
I can say is that I know that the World Bank financed a project undertaken by EP and the ministry to determine the destruction of water bodies and the forests. And the report was shocking. When they quantified it, it constituted about 10% of our GDP. So what I even intend to do is to take an audit of the environmental degradation that we have had in this country. Because if you have an audit that is done, then you have something, in hand that you can work with. But it seems to me that we are engaged in firefighting. You cannot specifically say this is the level of destruction of the activities of Galamsey and other human activities to our environment. So the first thing I intend to do is to see if we can have a national audit to be able to determine the percentage of the environment that is destroyed, taking into consideration the work that was funded to be done by the World Bank and EP and the MSC. So that's what I intend to do.
When you swafo a yɛbɔ ne din sɛ wɔnkɔhwɛ wɔbɔ adeɛ ɛne pa ɛne nsasesɛm ne abɔdeɛ mu nyansapɛnsɛm soɔ wɔnumnyamfoɔ Mutala Mohammed ɔna ɔde sansɛm no atu nya wɔbusua yɛnsa nkɔ na mmara sɛ wɔgya fie nkɔtie nsɛm a ɛkɔ so aberɛ a Samuel na Ate George Sam Judge wɔte akonnwa mu a ɛnnɛ yi yɛtoto n'ano ɔman Ghana mmara sɛ wɔgya fie mu.
If you reconcile, would you say that all those words you used to describe the Chief Justice were fair?
Mr. Chairman, that post was premised on my understanding and reading of Article 296 of the Constitution, and I would proceed to read with your leave.
That's okay. Please proceed.
The side note is exercise of discretionary power. Where in this Constitution or in any other law discretionary power is vested in any person or authority, A, that discretionary power shall be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid. B, the exercise of the discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, capricious, or biased based on resentment, prejudice, or personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with due process of law. And C, where the person or authority is not a judge or other judicial officer, there shall be published by constitutional instrument or statutory instrument regulations that are not inconsistent with the provision of this Constitution or that aid or that other law to govern the exercise of the discretionary power. Discretionary power is vested with the Chief Justice. She exercised same in the matter before her. My views were what I expressed in the post.
When did you say you posted those comments?
27th of March 2024 at 6:34 a.m.
What occasioned this post?
Activities that had gone on the previous day in court.
Can you share with us the activities that had gone on in the previous day in court and in which matter?
It was in the anti-LGBTQ case, the case you referenced earlier on. I don't really remember all the details, but I'm fully aware that my comments were in reference to the actions that had happened the day before in court.
You had earlier said that your criticism was premised on a July 28th disappointment. Now you are referring to a March post. So which is which? Just reconcile.
Chairman, at no point in my previous answer did I say that my displeasure with the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice was exclusive to the July 18th ruling. The case had started in court from the 5th of March. I made reference to the fact that the July 18th ruling is what led me to lead a national demonstration against the Chief Justice.
So what exactly did the Chief Justice do to you on the 5th of July, of March 2024? 24, you said 23rd.
27th
So
of March.
This post was 27th of March. And you are saying that based on what happened in court on the 26th of March. And can you tell us exactly what happened on the 26th of March, which led to such description of the Chief Justice of the Republic?
Mr. Chairman, let me be clear that I have answered this already and stated that I don't really remember all the actions that happened there. But again, let me be very quick to add that post this social media post, the Chief Justice has had occasion to write to me on 2 occasions through the Judicial Secretary. The Chief Justice is clothed with the powers of contempt. If she thought and held the view that legally I had erred, the Supreme Court of Ghana is not one that has shied away from using its contempt powers. They have failed to hold me for contempt because I have not erred, and I'm sure that the Chief Justice herself and the Judicial Council and the Supreme Court recognize that constructive criticism is helpful for the dispensation of our justice system. Thank you.
So you hold a view that those words used in describing the Chief Justice of the Republic to you remain constructive and nothing less?
I hold that view, sir.
Clark.
Asaasepa
Finish me.
no.
Honorable nominee,
107.3.
let's go
Asaasepa
to
no.
your CV. Please, where were you born?
I was born in Somanya in the eastern region of Ghana.
I'm not familiar with Somenya. Is it in the eastern region of the country?
Mr. Chairman, I just stated that I was born in Somanya in the eastern region of Ghana.
Now, Krobo, Odumase, and Somenya, are they the same?
I am unable to respond accurately to that. I'm not sure about that. But I believe that one of the MPs from the Krobo area is present in the committee. He can help us with the geography.
Honorable nominee, respectfully, are you familiar with Krobo Odumase?
Yes, I know the constituency, the Lower Manya Krobo, the Lower Manya Krobo.
107.3.
Yes.
Asaasepa no.
I'm not talking about constituency. I'm talking about a town called Krobo Odumase. Odumase Krobo.
Yes, I know a town like that exists, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. And I'm asking you whether that town and Somenya are the same or different.
I am
107.3.
unable to answer. I told you I'm not very conversant with the geography of the area.
Did you live in Somenya where you were born?
Chairman, before you came in, when I did the introductory part, I stated that I was born in Somanya, but I grew up in Nigeria. My mother is here, my birth mother is here, and if you want her to swear the oath, she will. to testify on at what age she took me, but I was taken to Nigeria at the age of 6 months. At that age, I don't think I would have been in a position to know what my surroundings were. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, are you currently in possession of a birth certificate?
I don't have my birth certificate here, but I own one.
Is it a very old one or the digital birth certificate?
107.3.
Mr. Chairman, it's a very old one. My parents have done very well to preserve it.
And that has your place of birth as Somanya.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You are in possession of a Ghanaian passport.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Two, actually, but under the same name. A regular passport and a diplomatic passport, all under the name Samuel Nate George. Thank you.
The Ghanaian passport you have, does the place of birth bear Somanya?
Both do, Mr. Chairman.
So you would disagree with anybody who would suggest that you were born
107.3.
in Odumasi Krobo? You would disagree?
My parents told me I was born in Somanya. They are the best to determine and tell me where I was born. Thank you.
Honorable
107.3.
nominee,
Asaasepa
on your CV, you have indicated that you have undertaken a number of courses.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But before then, you have indicated that you speak English, Ga, Dangbe, and Twi.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Do you speak any language of Nigerian origin?
Also Yoruba, dear, sir.
You speak Yoruba?
Yes, I do, and a bit of Igbo. I can tell you my name, Ahambu Sam George.
Don't pay attention to my questions. Pay attention to my questions. And then answer my questions. Not for the gallery, but for me. All right? Do you speak Yoruba?
Fairly.
You speak a bit of Igbo.
Yes, please.
To take the leave of Mr. Chair to amend your CV to include Yoruba.
With the leave of Mr. Chairman, if it pleases the committee for me to have to, but I just put the Ghanaian languages I spoke on my CV.
Language is spoken. Language is spoken. So I'm asking, since you say you speak Yoruba, that would you want to take the leave of Mr. Chair to amend to reflect that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, it can be amended with the leave of Mr. Chair.
Leave granted, amendment accordingly carried out.
Now, you have stated hometown to mean to be Old Ningo. We've had different descriptions of hometown. So tell you how you come by hometown.
I believe on my CV it says Ahriam, Old Ningo. And Ahriam is where my father hails from, where my father comes from. So that's where my father's house is.
And mom too from there?
My mom is from Old Ningo town itself.
Your CV page 1, you have indicated that you have a BSc Agricultural Engineering, Soil and Water Engineering specialization from KNUST. May I know from you, at KNUST, were you a member of TESCOM?
Never.
Did you at any point join TESCOM outside of, at any of the institutions that you studied?
Never, Mr. Chairman.
So you disagree with any report to the effect that you were once upon a time a member of TESCOM?
That would be an unfortunate lie. I disagree with
Vetting. The state, state security. As part of our vetting, you know that we request for due diligence reports from state security. So, as at January 27, 2025. Very well. And you would also disagree to the information given to us that you were not born in Odumasu Krobo. You disagree with them?
Absolutely.
Abusia nti wei eye nsama wodo ekoso my Ghana mra hye bia fie mu a Samuel Nate George you no Sam George wotren kodwam we yetototo na yenkwa homa no so amane boni ye woto nkra ede for my Ghana mra hye bia fie mu Andy Sepagina homa so Andy Majo
ya me jo sunya
Adama said ya Sam George wotin kodwam wo kasa de pote ene yebisa no obrofo no wa awe no bo nchire mu
nana me ka chiro se cross examination ya ye Edom Kuma pen and I don't know that on Kumano so Alexander Pedro Martin, Eddie Sam George, Femuno, the Chilo, and yet the Hasi, na Betino de call your Ancasa, Ubisa Semana, Wonusway, no Pepe. Nansen for dear way you go set or about where for Beshe Ghana, your communications and utilization have been 14 times in Mimo Academia, the idea no. Was or bar. Cyber security, a year above from 10 times a bamboo, 10 more air cost way, man, or modern set. Over here, ama Sikasemwa, ye be here, and a Sika, a business, a day above, ye are there 14 times. Now, things so no, a mara, a dasuno, or better, Obama, a beer coin ama, and she be a guhono, Obama, sa, a bamboo, no, etimu, ama, or minor. Na enkodan change so no obobo nsemi so efa eye Ghana card ya meji ye de ya meji ye SIM card no na obeka ya enfie bebre ni anase nkibe 9 na aban dada no ehye yen fa Ghana card nko na enfa meji SIM card no se be ya ye din no ebe reflect ama adebonfo a womo for the amount for no to be chat. Na eno na o kire se merging na ye na say revision na ye no akoba ne se telecos ni bi kire se wo mu ntimi enkire wo mu a wo mu din ewo system ni mu nti no oba obehwe na afi wo masan aye sa exercise ni bi na o ma make sure sa na so me bo modern se obia edin a ewo biometrics ni mu ewo Ghana card ni no a reflected ewo SIM card ni nti no eno bosha wa shefe oba obehwe ama omo aye ni ebiem ekodan chen so no osan so share bo se ene abefo tintan ade dey efe no AI which artificial intelligence ya ene nkode yi age abosu ya cheke ukoye social media so ene AI no a fisia amanamaya na sama hodo bebre age atumu a wo mode edi djuma no wa shebo se oba obebo modern se ebibiman mu anase Africa yi mu no Ghana uchimu a ye atoye side of the continent no Ghana anase o man Ghana yebetimu na yen na yebeye efia amaya hodo a omo benyen no omo ebe benefit free yes so ntino we ni semfo ahodo a ohwa ye se uyi eye LGBT nsensem free hwa animu ni chief justice nsensem bia okonika ye e social media so a eye Alexander Fenyoma ketutu na no maniko ekosi ya nsemfo yi na obobo so fe oba obeshe na womum omaye intino akokraba na chese egusu ekoso ewo vetting room na chese bisa me no ka say Alexander Fijomakin esu na no bisa no school ko ye baby a ye tete do baby a ye wo no chese TV no opeso chere say enyema bi to sin wo into onhe na onsese ntino nze bisa na de sisi a yewura Alexander Fijomakin agiabo so de wa woni senior de omanebo ama no utimi wo say eno a eno de be Sam George a chere say enya senkuma ewo betin yasi
na wo hwe Sam George said ya ne poster na se ne sune ne biatie no sabre no wabɔ hu ana sa ade no wafa ne totroto
nana wafa ne totroto na asɛm no bisa na edem asɛm no bisa na edem kyerɛ ekɔ wano saa kokora kyerɛ abranche no wase na no na ɔde abetra hɔ a kyerɛ asɛm bi a bebisa no bia no ɔbɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ obeyi wano pɛpɛɛpɛ nti wotumi wo sɛ na wabɔ ne ho mmɔden esiesie ne ho asi hɔ koraa atwɛn sɛ ɛnɛ nwumere yi wɔn bɛhyia no nti ɛnɛ deɛ wotumi wo sɛ nsɛm no a wɔyi ano no deɛ na confidence no deɛ ɛwɔ mu paa
yɛnya ne nteɛ sɛ ɛnɛ nso no na nka ɔkudwo tabla kwa wɔbɛba ne atoto na no ɛbɛba so saa
nana deɛ ɛkɔ yi deɛ yɛhwɛ a ɛdi ana appointment committee ɛbɛto ahyɛ kyena ɛnɛ mpo no deɛ na nkɛsɛ sɛ ɔno ɛyɛ okusamokudwo tabla kwa afei nso Sam George ɛna afei Kofi Adams wɔn mu mmiɛnsa ɛna ɛsesa nka wɔn hyia na mmom ɔmo sesa timetable no eti ɔmo de ɛyɛ Rashid Kapu ɛhyɛ aseɛ na afei ekyir ɔmo kɔfa Murtala Mohammed ɛsoso baayɛ Minister of Environment and Science and Technology ɔno nso ɛbaayɛ afei nso no ɔsɔre yɛ no ɛna ɛyɛ Sam Nate George nso abɛgye n'akonnwa a yɛgu so tu na no na mehwɛ nea ɛrekɔ yi a mengye nni sɛ wɔn bɛhwɛ ama ahɔhɔ a ɛne amo okudwo ablakwa ɛnam no wɔn bɛtena ase sum saa nti no ahwɛ a ɛyɛ den a ɔkyena ɛna wɔn bɛtoto n'ano na afei deɛ ɛto aso no ato aso akokora.
Andy yɛbɛda ase paa na ɔma ne bɔ ne nnwumire wae
107.3
abusua yamane boni ya wobutu ɔman Ghana mra hyɛ bidwa fie mu Andy Sepa na mane bɔ pii ne ekotie wɔ kyɛ sɛ me no kasa tie anototo na ɛna egu so a ɛkɔ so ɔman Ghana mra hyɛ bidwa fie mu a Samuel Nate George Sam George wɔte nkonnwa mu wɔ papa yi yɛnu nu ebisa ne nsɛm ne ade awoto no na sɛ deɛ ɛkɔ anhwɛ yi a na deɛ wɔno nso yɛbɔ ne din sɛ wɔn mɛtena dwa mu bie na nnɛ ntimi tototo na no ɛyɛ onimnyamfo Samuel okugyeto ablakwa no anhwɛ yi papa no yɛntimi tototo na nti sɛ deɛ bɛkɔ bia no yɛde mu nkyerɛmu ne yɛmu ɔma ne bɔ ɛbɛma yɛma ne bɔ ni ɛnasɛ mpo no yɛtiefoɔ ɛwɔ kasafidie so abusua so kusɛ otie Asaasepa ɔhane so akyiri pɔ mmiɛnsa enwumre no nsia kan kase bɔ ne de free ɛyɛ studios hanam Jolato studios enkramopuni mantem na cantonment ɛne ebutu a yɛto apete mantem di nsani na emu nso a wonso wotimi nya bi atie
107.3
Asaasepa no
abusua yɛto akase ne so ne egyiremu ɔman Ghana mra hyɛ fie mu hɔ no na ndrata ɛna mrasɛbiafoɔ no kɔ asetena na nansampo wɔn tena ase a na Dr. Edward Kofi Omane boa ma papa yi yɛbɔ ne din sɛ soafo nkɔhwɛ Bible nsɛm so mkyɛ Minister for Defense na ɛtoto na ne nyinaa wie na ho bɛnya sɛ parliament no bɛtumi akɔtena ase na report a wodoɔ no a ɛfa no ho anototo ani mu ɛba yɛ no bɛtumi ama sɛbiafoɔ nyinaa nso atumi ate ase na yɛsi gyina sɛ bɛgye na tom sɛ wɔn kɔsom sɛ soafo wɔhwɛ Bible nsɛm so ana ɛnɛ da yɛ na saa nkunyasie no kɔɔ so a ɔman Ghana mra sɛbiafoɔ mu na ehuru bujubujubujubuju ne nyinaa ne sɛ minority leader dɔm kuma no ba no Daniel Alexander Kwame na fanyo mark sɔre gyina waka wɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔne deɛ wɔwe no bi wa wɔn te ase ne sɛn ho wɔse clerk no parliament ne kama sɛ wɔno da bia da no wɔn kɔtena ase ɛnkanka ne da yi report no anka ɛho bɛnyia sɛ wɔbɛtumi nya bie ne saa report no wɔn hwɛ ne mma wɔbɛbisa clerk sɛ wɔn hia ɔsɛ twɛn kakra me ba ɛnyɛ kakra me de bɛbrɛ wo twɛn saa ɛna nam so ɛnɛ yi saa report no kama sɛ ɛkɔkɔ gansinsin mu nanso Alexander Kwame na fanyo maka bosobo ne nyinaa ne sɛ wɔse saa suban no a clerk no wɔ parliament wɔda na die ne ntin saa report no na nkɔ hwɛ nim sɛ wɔn nsa betumi aka bie no ne nsa nka ne ntɛntɛm so wɔ no wɔkyɛ sɛ yɛ ne yɛ paa ne tie sɛm wɔ no so wɔkaka ho.
Mr. Speaker, records of this house must reflect that our clerk has opted not to share the draft report with the minority leader in the ranking of the committee. Mr. Speaker, I have complained And if we are to pursue our rights, perhaps we will not take this report. But I would want to place on record that this same clerk who, when I was in government, she would insist that the minority leader must see the draft report before she ferries him to the chair to sign, has now for conveniently managed to only get the chair of the committee to sign the report without getting it to my office. Mr. Speaker, there were very key matters that came up at the vetting committee, at the appointment committee hearing. And she's found it prudent to capture those that she conveniently think must be in a report. Key issue, such as the nominees' social media posts that the NPP was looting GIS lands. And when the nominee was confronted with that fact, he had to retreat by admitting that indeed he erred and that with the benefit of hindsight, that thing would not repeat. And in fact, retracted it. This is a very critical matter of reputational value.
Na wei na Alexander Kwame na fanyo market don kuma no ba no dani minority leader what to dwan nei e wo man Ghana mra se fie mo wo che sa ade no a clerk no parliament twetwefo no what ye what to dwan nti wanti ama ne nsanka report ne tentem anse na wo meka no man Ghana mra se fie no bu afu pa ne bonyo so na eno akiri na Tamale North mra se dwan Hassan Saibu Suhini wo so gina waka kire se oh Alexander Kwame na fanyo market di men kese dwuma wo kasa dodo ne se ho watch us and ye bibia mo kind of report no mu ya na se committee na se bia ena mpo no clerk betime nya pene ana se wonya daje tiba twatwo ni na nanso no ekame ye se ade ye okasa ho e wo mu de nanso no bomoden na to boase na ma clerk no ntimi momoden a enya brene adaje entimi hwehwe nkratanim ni na ye so be otintim ni na wi a wo betima ma minority leader Alexander afanyo mark ne satimi akapie na fe report ni nsem ni na nanso no wo hunu de koye.
When a report is laid, the clerks are not usually able to capture all that transpired during the meeting of the committee, but members are still at liberty to comment on the issues that were raised at the committee level, even if those don't find expression in the report. Like the minority leader has done, he could have just gone ahead to highlight the issues he wanted captured on the report without, raising reservations about the conduct of the clerk. The Speaker, having said that, I want to reiterate the point that the President's nominee, in this case, Dr. Omani Boama, is one distinguished gentleman, very focused, very intelligent, and it showed when he appeared before the committee in the manner that he answered the questions that were fielded by members of the committee. Indeed, Dr. Omani Boama has been in government before, served as Minister for Communications, and discharged himself creditably. And as somebody that some of us have worked closely with, especially when I was in the media, I can attest to his diligence and his professionalism, his fairness and his objectivity when it comes to the way he handles issues that are presented before him. And I therefore think that he's going to carry, I hope that he's going to carry that same qualities that he's been noted for over the years to the Ministry of Defense, which requires such selflessness.
Abusia, wey mrasew je no giremu ma de hia wo mo Tamale North abato mpeswa so Al Hassan Saibu Suhini ana de sansem no ato nyina no akire no ena twuma mentwene koso my Ghana mrasew je fiam so yenye wono munyamfo Dr. Kofi Omane Boama ntum seso afo behwe ye banbon nsem so ana eno ena nhia esum mrasew je ni Dr. Steven Amoa Steka wonso gira waka ena okiremu se hwe wono me ko bi manka bi de enfa nkekere man ni na ne se ade ba ko a wono wo bona ni bia no ohu no so kaye na ne buafu na ne wura ho pa ene se emfim pimi ne donu nan abato ye ko so a enam kire na amafro be na ho akakopra na ye wi akire no ye declare elections ni na wi na ni sama ye komba ni bi e hya ase de mra ne hye wo nsem edi nsem no man Ghana hanmani nti abanye je pade awodo bebre no wo mo se seni no wo che sa de ye timi mu ye ni nwoso ɛnyɛ yɛ adwene sɛ saa adeɛ no yɛnim wɔkyɛ sɛ soafo yi a wɔbɛhwɛ ban bɔ nsɛm so yi wɔn mmɔden asɛ bɛtumi ayɛ n'ade hia deɛ sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a daakye biara na yɛagye n'ato mu no wɔntumi ɛntena hɔ nyɛ hwɛ haa ama amanfoɔ bi mfa mmara nhyɛ wɔn nsɛm ɛnkɔnkɔdi saa nsɛm no abɛrɛ yɛto aba awie ne yɛka sɛ wɔyɛ na wɔdi nkunim obi ɛne wɔdi ntwe no saa deɛ yɛbɛtumi atu asɛ kora fie ɔman Ghana ha no mo na ɛno nso nsɛm a Dr. Stephen Amoaseka wɔde ka ho nie.
Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, permit me to just give one line of this chorus. Or the Asaasepa Nenamo, Asaasepa Nenamo. Is this the Asaasepa that they were talking about? Mr. Speaker, Asaasepa whereby people are dying in our country. Mr. Speaker, now certain parts of Ghana, innocent Ghanaians, school children, are supposed to stay home because of insecurity. Mr. Speaker, now in some churches, the thematic topics for Sunday preaching is about insecurity. I never knew the unprecedented victory was going to allow something that we thought, in our opinion as Ghanaians, peaceful countries such as Ghana, these primitive, outmoded, dysfunctional behaviors. So, Mr. Speaker, knowing Dr. Manebuama, he's a very fine gentleman, very knowledgeable. He's gone through the mill. We all have had the opportunity to be in association with him. But it is my outcry, and the outcry of many Ghanaians, old and young, rich and poor, men and women, that this unprecedented, dysfunctional behavior, socially unacceptable behavior, must be curtailed as early as possible. It is the first preliminary test of the incoming minister. And this is an admonishment that I'm asking every Tom, Dick, and Harry in this house to help uphold the democracy.
When you Dr. Stephen Amoaseka, one on the new cemetery in Ebusia, Ebe, Yeno, Chumaman Chidina, Kwano Kukwa Bombi, na right honorable Aban. So Manakins at Bagwin, Epejanini, and what just one woman mess yet as a palm. Say my Chumaman Chinabi, number one of my hair. I dear Bako one so Nenuku on the pan set. Oh, Mrasabi, a few hundred mechanics, some for a bina. Eddie Marano, I ya omuda show some debia done, no mugum Rasija phone hoofing. One of the better enough for Timabo home by pa. Equa Nimus or Hessa with my yamra, at a cheremrano. Nam ran a bit me up was said about one of doing Juma or Rasija Fino. Will be to me Sariwaka, and Quanco bought one more chi and Asempono, one Casam Bonibia and for Hanasempono, all for one Quanco Trisanium. Now, when now, right honorable Aban, so Manakins of Bible, Gina, 2 minutes of water, and Nini Nemuno. One way to me, I am Shaya. One more did Dr. Kofi Manebuama to Musa, one person, Saswa for her Bambon Samsua.
The challenge of this house is that many of the things that we complain about are beyond our control. Even members of parliament have been assaulted a number of times, even killed. A number of members of parliament have lost their lives in the course of their duty. And so this is a matter that concerns us all. And I want us, even in this position, to try to be a force to get Ghanaians to turn over a new leaf. As minority leader from 2001, I can share a lot of experiences and documents with you on this matter. But that doesn't mean it's something that we should allow to fester. We have to do something about it. As leaders, we have to do something about it. And we have to do something about it and get the executive, they who are to execute what we decide as representatives of the people. We take the decisions, we make the laws, they are to implement those decisions and the laws. And so we must first take the decision, we must first make the law, and we must ensure that they implement the laws. It's a responsibility we have to shoulder. And so when you are expressing these things, let's have the patience to listen. Because if you want the opportunity, I'll give you, and you express your views. But there's some impression outside there, which impression is not correct, it's not right. We must all help to combat it. We must be united in that. Not because this is in power, this is in opposition, this one is in power today, this another in opposition. No. Not that one. Please, let's be honest and candid in our submissions. And let the people not hear us. Let them feel it. Let them see it in us. That we are trustworthy. And what we say, we mean what we say. Not because the fire is on somebody's back and not yours. Please. I'm saying this because he's going to make a statement which will touch on this issue of violence. And I want us to take the time to deal with it and let Ghanaians hear us. Then from there, we can move on to take some resolutions. We are to assist and we are to oversee the government to do what is right. If we talk about resetting, we must be part of the resetting. Please. So I'll allow the...
Ebusia, right honorable. Aban, Sumana Kinsword, Bagum, Rasha, Fium Chamihene, and on the Sansemina, Atuja, watching them which has one idea. Sa, Adian Wayan Pepi, no etai, Elder Sumra, Phono Yababa, Camina, Debia, and one is set one by Bonnie at an air trap and one idea, a hanopan, and woman, and your woman, Ghana for the Nash, I see soon one. What did you know, Musa swap for a war, but over her bambon some sort of a pay. Ever to my Madeka Sepa, et me, was said about bambon some. Ever to my dear, he oh my Ghana Hanamo.
107.3.
Asaasepa no.
Now, when I said a few hundred moon, Alexander Kwame for your market, and they was also put any movie or chess, a command said, Debiad and Ghana, a quabat was so. Na ye, near Bossa Wayan wedding kunim, will be a din cha. Won't send a chita for no one's amen, you couldn't moon, one sort of waka. And your boy Japadia, woman no more do usually in our no for us shall say air twice a swap. One says and watch us a who as a sabri. Yan farm Rabimra and Ranibet Mashakate, so yan your trouble, we need a chance. And what didn't Kunimun or didn't try. A new quan Sabiasa would sit off with me as Simon train. And your baby Padia would walk says and about a Satia. No, my Ghana, yes, we are sick of crown one, yes, you know. Near to the brand says he cannot have who say, yes, I got to say Padia would win now. And Alexander coming up from your market and something now to draw my Ghana massive a few more not set. I feel a chair more about your Koswa. Every year, Chenandi, some of your company, Biasha said him Russia woman some. No one says, I buy your Padia. Na empanyi forward wa aban no no omoso wo mu no won sa se tu omoso san sa de ni no en famra kwan so a new question so my Ghana hanamo ye tie sem a afanyo maken what to dwa
the firm instructions of the chief of staff to hold on till a replacement was made. In other words, he was told to hold on to up to 31st of January when a replacement will be made, a new person will be appointed. So he was only waiting to do a formal handing over. Mr. Speaker, as you've rightly said, what happened on the 7th of January was a regular election in our country, a change of government, a new party has taken over, and that is democracy. We must not allow some thugs within our ranks to do that which will jeopardize the future of democracy in our country. I take this opportunity to call on all political leaders in our country to take time, educate the youth, encourage them to be lawful, and avoid taking the law into their own hands. Mr. George Boateng is a Ghanaian like all of us. It is true that the government that appointed him is no more, but there's a need for a smooth transition. A transition that will allow the new officer to take over from him. But whilst I'm at this, Mr. Speaker, let me also thank the military men on duty that day for their peaceful intervention. But for them, perhaps Mr. George Boateng would have lost his life. Watching the pathetic video, their intervention helped to save the life of our dear brother George Boateng. I pray that a thing like this never happens again in our country.
When Alexander Kwamina, afanyo market na so be fiam don kuma no ban dani ana ne sansem ni na wo tudwa wo kire se wo no de sa de no a ekọ so man Ghana mra se be fiam no a eni nti no wo mutimi nka ho asem eni nti no wo hu se ye to abawie a na kwabrane no wa hye ase abaje pade aban nyuma hodro no wo je yaboso no sa de ni nyina no ye betimi ahwe na etimi asia no kese pa we ni nsem hodro a eye don kuma no ban dani Alexander Kwame na afanyo market wo de tudwa man Ghana mra se be fiam
107.3
Asaasepa no.
Siafo enkrambu puni mantam hanom a dwumadi chencherenche ekoso wo hanom nyini na ne sa ye bomoden aboabo edoma no afiri eye ebibirim hanom ene amanone se de be ye wo munina betimi abobo chenku wo hanom ne yetima adwendwen enoma hodo a betimi agu akwan mu a ebibiman yenso betimi ade ye ho ne nyina ne sa dwumadi ekoso afiafi bia se de be ya ebibiman noma hodo a ye de adua ye mu ene odo soronko atiti ye mu no yen konkoma se ahyese na ebesi ye kwan boda no ene besi ye ko bi wo hono wo bonse wo Ghana ye ka brofo wo tu kwan ekọ Cote d'Ivoire na ye ko French pre bonse na ni ayin 2020 ontimi ni dwa wo mo chese sa adwuma die woni na ya de mo de gu apro so mo hwe kwan wodo asa de ye ACC kwan ye mpampim barrier ye ni trentim makwan ma dwadie ene sikasama wodo so ntimi nkoso no ye be ni nyina so ade afiri hono mo dwadie din ni African Prosperity Dialogue APD 2025 ya otetre ni da oye oda no Gabi asare wo kire da ko wore no abobo sa do mu nyina no afifire bibremu ene atoye mantem ne awodo ni nyina tiwe ba man Ghana hanum a wo betimi nkomo sare betimi aboa ema o man Ghana ebibremu hanum so nkaye no ye betimi adi de kese pa na abra ye friend sa efre mpanyifo wodo a wo me ya man mpanyifo ebibremu atoye ene ebibremu hanum nyina eba ye no Ghana man panya be ye kire maame professor na je opoku agyeman wono so baabi yo de no onyam kese pa ebeta adwuma die eti no oban no kyese hwe na ni agye pa se Gabi asaro kyere da ko papa yi tibire kese wetimi adwe hu ehunu se bibi mu hanom ye wono pa e wo hanom ni nyina ne se wo kyere se ade ba ko ye betimi ayede abo bibi man ame enso etimi tumpo akọ enim kese pa ene se yemfa nhyehye yengu akwam se ye ya man panyifo ana se mponi policy makers no ye hyehye mmra no ye momodi ase betimi adwe hu se akodi abadie ene adwodie nsam enkwankwa ye mpampim enam kasa anase mpo no obi sika wodi enti no ye ntimi makwan ma saa de no entimi nsi akwan wo kyese ye de san hyehye ni na egu akwan mu a ene bibiman ye bedi de pa etuma tumpo akwa eni se de be ye dwadie eni musika sam so etuma akwa eni kese pa ye ntie sam mu a mampanyi abedi e kire maami professor na jen opoku agye okopie mu e wo African Prosperity Dialogue ye no African Prosperity Network.
Distinguished participants, Africa's fragmented markets are a significant barrier to our economic potential. While our continent boasts of a population of 1.4 billion people and a combined GDP of more than 3.4 trillion, a significant part of the potential remains unfulfilled and will continue to do so if our markets remain divided. Integration is not just a theoretical concept. It is a lifeline to our collective future. By breaking down barriers and creating a single market, we can unlock immense opportunities, create jobs for our youth, and Madam Zuma, I agree with you, so we don't watch them drowning in other waters. We can also, by so doing, lift millions out of poverty.
When a Ghana man penya be ye kire ma me professor Jen Opoku Agyeman wo to dwabra African Prosperity Network no wo mo ye dwuma de chenchire e won kam opuni mantam na no chi no san kire se kwan dada no ane ye fa so de adwuma no ebibi man panyifo ni na momoden ane etimi san fa ho na yemfa abefo kwan so betimi de dwa se de betimi aboa e bebi man so etimi tumpo akore san se emre dane ne ho a na wo so abomden etimi atwa si adane ho bi na afei ekwan wodo e fa so de dwuma no ye betimi asesam kakra
to the development of infrastructure as a cornerstone to our economic transformation. However, as we celebrate our achievements, we must recognize that much more remains to be done across the continent and in the various regions and countries. Another important area is digital infrastructure. Mobile technology has already revolutionized financial inclusion in Africa, where services such as mobile money platforms bring banking services to the unbanked and brings banking services close to the consumer.
When a Ghana man penya be de kire ma me professor na Jen Opoku Agyeman what is some na akoto dwa enede ya e wadwuma de chencherenche a enka opuni mantam hanom Ye dia gu apono so a African Prosperity Network. Wo mo no say adwuma yi aba.
107.3
Asaasepa no
So
no.
ye bra wi adu some adwen kyerem susudie na obas body ni na meken kani na kama pa tew ade ama mo. Adwantwa was good evening Asaasepa ye je wo so pa. Honorable Sanku was hwe. I'm enjoying the hill. Keep the fire. But when you budget musa piaga also the diaba. Was it hey watch yasin the mammy Morrison. Mammy the new swadia cra where you bonia ye piaga dia what diaba no. Kofi so the diaba mensa was a powerful minority at play. Na said Dom Kuman won't boy you what the pan. I was young and offense a citizen Kofi. What was it Sam George and that's what you know. What in his queen time son also what you know. When a year comment kakra at me about Nembono. Me so so dia bonyi ne ba for what the bonus e betra nkonwa mu no dia Atumpan dwumadie so aba so Janice so se agyeman wo so her Facebook live ene wo no mokeka ka ho ni na ebusuya me so so na bonyi ne ba for wa e dia Atumpan dwumadie ene to ene nkomo no do so pa bra se we no gire mu ade hya mo ofo ase yire bia ba to mpeso aso kwadwo wo ponkroma wo nyamfo wo betra nkonwa mu na o man Ghana nkan kwane ne nkyekire sikasam yatumi ahwe na yehunu kwan pa yebetumi do man no etumi atumpo akọ anim semfo panyi na o yankra ne din wona saka sem ma me na akokora banya ako abro ne ma me so bitena konwa burum na me din ho nam na ma hoyi me ma mo ani tia yegem so okudonto makrao
Mofia Moke Radio Agme 107.3.
Asaasepa.
Okay, Jame, Ubajo to Engme.
Follow who no road.
Onye Igbeson 247. Onye
Asaasepa.
And you mind.
Minyamumpo.
107.3
Asaasepa no no.
Atumpan. Chenia kasa. Atumpan. Chenia kasa. Atumpan. Chenia kasa. Atumpan. Chenia kasa. Atumpan. Atumpan. Chenia kasa.
About 50 lines, you know. Opinion is like noses. Akwanya beba. Now so watch the watching. Right, ma yami en wa kwa babio amra Atumpan dwumadie sumidin I de bono hene ba for awua anwumrei enkomo ho ena aban lawyer panyini ye kan aban lawyer panyina the state attorney general cases bi wo ho a ne wo court wa na yedi cases baya baako mienu miensa be na asenum wa withdraw cases no o say aban any interest e wo case no bio o say aban any interest e wo case no bio which means is court never to us so mo be yeden yo say ti sen yo aban na hohoro ne nsa case bi te sɛ Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni Kokobod wɔne ɔpanyin Sedu Agongo a businessman fertilizer case fertilizer no ɔmo kra de ba Ghana yɛsɛ no ɔmo nteste fertilizer no ɛbɛduru Ghana no na asɛe enti wode yɛhwe a ɛnyɛ yie and a cost to wɔman Ghana 271 million Ghana cedis. Enti abani ya n'adwene sɛ saa deɛ a yɛde bɛkɔ akɔgyina mmaranim na afei wakyerɛ yɛn deɛ baayɛ ɛne kwan a saa sika yi afa wo nsa ase anaa woantumi ahwɛ so yie.
I ask you to be citizen.
March 2018 tiɛ nkɔmmɔ na me ne wodi no March 2018 ɛne yɛde asɛm no kɔɔ court ɛnɛ aban lawyer panyin the state attorney say wa withdraw case no. 2 Samuel Fosu Ampofo
I ask
former chairperson NDC Ora Kwaku Buahen NDC sir Ubakaya leak tape bi bae allegedly near say Samuel Ofosu Ampofo and Kwaku Buahen kushia NDC fo binom sir yanchichi nipa nsie wo Ghana yamma Ghana enya sakasaka yamma verbal attacks and company for so na manfo nka se MPP aban enye aban papa. December 2019
Chenia kasa
yeah, the first some figures in a year juma December 2019 and I the court and now the state attorney said we need interest won't be why withdraw case no. The big question Ghana for bisano maybe sasisi ya yenimsa 1992 constitution article 88 the commander menudi no 1992 constitution no article 88 is to declare sir state attorney and our by lawyer panyin no or who kwan say case wo court say ya ban no obi asɛm a
Chenia kasa
aban ne bɛtwe ne ho afirim one prosecute bio ɔho kwan sɛ ɔbɛka sɛ case wei deɛ aban no wɔ interest
Atumpan
yɛbɛtoa so and what take decision no a per our constitution no obiara ne ho kwan bɛbisa ne sɛ ɛbaa ne sɛ na wo se case wei deɛ wontoa so case wei deɛ wobɛtoa so bio ɛdɛn na wohu yɛ
Atumpan
ntɛne deɛ and right the state attorney and right so be take decision as to cases are or person wodi any the on person or better so na what prosecute you. But a big question Ghana for do na ebisa ne say some crofo we nom a known NDC prominent people in NDC. Kwaku Buahen is a known person in NDC.
Atumpan
Some of us who Ampofo why chairman paying
Atumpan
Stephen Opuni obiara nim sɛ wɔyɛ is a common knowledge sɛ wɔyɛ NDC ni and the question Ghana for bisa the state attorney aban lawyer panyin sɛ a political decision ana a legal decision the aman for bisa no sɛ a political decision ana a legal decision is a probably a buyer no your study case no your very case no the other boy punini said wa gongo Ofosu Ampofo and Kwaku Buahen ya trasidin ya kan document no ya hu say sabi bibia nim omunya boni bia enti a ya tu sa na monwe anasa aye by extension say constitution no e mandate mampanyi a ya beto aba ama no so anu so be paw state attorney aban lawyer panyin na saa nkrofo no omo hubo mu no so no omo ye NDC fo enti e take sa decision no na questions amanfo obisa no ebi bisa sa there were several cases and court adentia cases no our court no de yentimi nkonkɔ withdraw na de involve nkrofo a yenim se Sabin Preduasa, or more NDC for prominent people in NDC. Yeah, withdraw sa cases, And also, another question. Ghana for binum ebisa. Those say Article 88, of the 1992 Constitution, Emma some mandate, so I continue and I won't continue. But basic questions are Ghana for ebisa no. Ebisu si dabi o
Atumpan.
the Attorney General, State Attorney, no about lawyer paying or cabinet so. Obi disa honorable to Forsen, Finance Minister, one also a cabinet so. Enti will be on any war cabinet so dear, obey prosecuting. A man for so questioner. The same I feel a man for noa, eba bontain no. Sir, ye criticize our picture noa. I told a beer, a man the ordinary Ghanaian who say the 1992 Constitution, it protected only the politician. Emma, the ordinary Ghanaian on the street, there were no more. One him bibia, one him Constitution, ma jono, not generally when the team said that you. They said, yeah, your mamra, your tina, sister, yes, she said, near dear boy who brano. They said, yeah, a nimo bia, nim the taxpayer, but a nim politician, and in the rich class.
Sheniakasa.
Yeah, was several cases.
Atumpan.
I don't hear young Konyanko withdraw our cases. No interest and what some of us some for and Dr. Punidianum and Ediahin. These are basic questions.
Atumpan.
Did I be a cancer? I told you, your 1992 Constitution, a yari.
Ne Canada hodo.
Fambe yari.
Ne Canada hodo.
Because powers no ye demand the executive no what me be executive and the state attorney about lawyer pay. Article 88 of the Constitution ma sa state attorney no kwan say case ye ya ban de bi aban prosecute bi no on ho kwan so twam say te sen on ho kwan say woto aso. Enti bisa wo say who the taxpayer wo ho no wunya case and then e bon ho ban.
Shenia kasa.
Men kasa bebre honorable Kojo Pon Kroma tenase. Very noble gentleman. My name is Minim so be by take kakra wo so a. But mama ya 20 lines this is here anabrem on 057 777 1073 057 777 1073. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, bringing in Patrick evening.
About what did you be at and cafe?
I just famous I'm in Cafe Washington.
Ame, but you didn't go.
Nyamisha near the Mapa, that kind of party wants them. That's the Yana Jacob Boni, Yanonia Manaka. Now I can't go to Munaka, then can you with us.
Miss Vera say, hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Certain conform, would you be at and cafe?
Because every Casoa, Niano.
About opportunity, uncle, Bonnie uncle.
What's the boss of Papa? The Pocho, Sao and you put on when you caught catch a judge and say, or a judge and the judge will be dealing. And this is certainly by a devil iron occasion when she would like I say, at opinion of one woody. I didn't was opening one woody. And now, I uncle for you say a fancy, for case, and was one bone go. Let us see, and I have to say, and this is formed by an.
May I say hello, good evening? What did you be out here in cafe?
What do you for Yamasin Yanko?
And Council Mora Cropon, Maminti, opportunity uncle.
You Yadawasi, Mamintia could no Ponkuma honorable member, Yamisha, Namintia Mammy, Samu could be over Yamisha Mano. What do you need? Margana for a young one? Yakoto Abano, empty Bijinoma High, no Mamma Norma, soon. The Ghana Party, Nima, so Moko to Abama, Sumuno, money, young one was at Yama because we have Mundia Tredena Jomama. Will buy Omakasson Beverly with Chief Justice. Then Kalodia Mahama Kobejaon, who are Jawon, so Munko, and Tino and Yamama, Ghana for Munya, but 2028, Muntu Abama, civilian, my parents and your mamma near the Papia.
May I say hello, good evening?
Good evening.
About what did you be out here in cafe?
From the free for new life.
Right, what you need, uncle?
Certain way I beg in a free penny from and the MPP in Mapa. I said, not chair or court of Hodo. I then I had to tell some so 7 good years. I then
obi ko cha body a hello
Yetio pa one yanko.
Obi ko wi obi body a only 3 days will court na ye na court to prison. I said Ghana no e bi mu de na bi mu de ye nkan wana adan na court sa o matche wasam no hudodo.
May say hello, good evening. About Odin, never be a OT and Caffrey and Anumri. I do a certain conform, wouldn't be a tea and Caffrey.
Nana,
Botunianco, Bonianco.
Wouldn't be dear. I don't know, General, yes, I did. On the Kwakuba, of Swamp for me. I would almost better to board so. It's almost clear or more. Atumpan. What is it? It's in your way, any day. And yet, a double warm that they are. It's a Ghana for getting iron for a wagon. They say, well, say, Uko Yabanti. Uko Yabantia. You do to my do tomb forever. And so on, politicians, one come to a puzzle. That's a brain.
Miss Mera say, hello, good evening.
Good evening, Brian.
Odin Babi at Yanka Free Botunianco.
Yeah, well, this year, Capia for the Amcasafic Tomato.
Yanko, honorable.
Oh, but you're not one of your criminal at some and last.
Okay.
You know, that is, yeah, Mohammed. Incoming organized and Parliament. Now, bring it. This is
Jina ye kakra my boy.
About John Tamika.
Say me ton kama mintio.
Atumpan. Ebi o ha be de. Tema. Asemi ko to dead pa le si kwan anti wantiman enjeri nkofo ya mana we ma ban aba. Amo ma yes case fi. Let us say so ye mistake you because o mo ngata muntie pre wa ni kia obu yi wo. And I tell gongo yi wono e fanexia a obo awo. Opunimu nyina na nko betimi de brand ya akotoko boss. What does here? And the MPP for ye maybe I am me form for your company for muntie. La mutia kabwa ye bi ni o. We say MPP for mo de o ni ba be fi o so. Next time ye ba be mo a the same thing as ye dey. Yeah. Oni nyam nyama.
Mesmeda say hello good evening. Yan fa last 3 callers na yan koni no no bondi nkomo. Odin ba bi ate enka free.
Opo di bia.
Wo wam wono so didi ma no call me wija. Na mo akoma miti o.
We no more about it. Share you after your Michael. Madam leader. Ajuma odi o better committee so ayem se na yema wa se you after your market and you of your phone come our better committee so o mo better so mo kan no ya. Bro e me kedu agongo ene okunia ene yesi case no yesi ye twema ankofu bi no. Mi di bremu no ama me party MPP mpanyfo ene ya ban abeta ya so. Yatina asake you put 7 good years asem no call. Yatina ama yentimi awu asem no ama ne NDC abapower ama asem also work na ofu se NDC abapower what say that about akoto afiase opuna akoto afiase all me ko aduma no mudi ye no part ni nya so mfa so also e benefit was no on akoto afiase na and they very get blame ni e party and on pay for one of them ye hwe ha ma we course so never be end so be blame my party so mo ye vigilant e kwa asem hu di and no asem on pay the purpose no mu bu asem na anka yen se na oba ye won twa asem na after bo so o man won bo man ko say amoma na boka.
Right, hello good evening. Radio starting call from Udin Babi ati enka free.
Ne pa cho e friend ku fi o shi mi kasa fu na kurum gas.
E jawsu botun yanko.
Ne pa cho MPP abamu de shinya no ona wa ba je mi ogidi she oni ye be kasa. Ma kuma to ye mu. Ro MPP ye ni abiri o. Ye ni abiri papa nti ona bo mi hire o. Mi kurum ni mi ofike bi na ba ha se. Mi hire o. Kasa na MPP o bia kuma to ni ye mu. Ni nsensie fufuru mu bi.
Mesmeda say honorable Kojo Ponkroma ewo ha one ne panyina yene no edi nkomo ene anwumre ofo ase ayerebi mrasebedwani no wasom ye from 2018 information ministry woto aso panyin se adwa na kire ne to aso ntino enam so mpa wosom Ghana ntino wotimi sanya kwanya kosom ye works and housing ene wɔyɛ mmarahyɛbadwani yɛsɛ ɔni hwee no panyin ni hwee no wɔ abatwɛ party no opposition kura no still wɔyɛ ne MP wapɛ ne dues in MPP ɛna wapɛ ne dues in Ghana ɔpanyin Majo
ɔhene me jo so say
na me dia fam bibia bɔkɔ deɛ
nyame adom kakaka
ɛda ase so ɛne wo brɛ ni hɔ but watimi apɔ ne kakra ma Ghana fɔ ne yɛ na deɛ ka nyina ne sɛ yɛda ase afihia pa so
afepan kɔ messiah ho
na yɛma tri nkwa so
nyina ɛti da ase amba ne sɛ ne yɛpɛ no nso deɛ nyame bɛyɛ ne yɛ
right from 7th December around 9-10 when is brew
papa ɛbɔ bɛyɛ 7:30 ɛna me nsa ka me results a na ɛwɔ fo ase ne ne mpɔtam nyinaa
ɔkɔlɛti awie
na ma collect in fact system ana yɛn every election dia yɛ running wɔ constituency no if you about to ase pɛ 30 minutes bi a yɛ count or polling station count no dia yɛ ne sɛ yɛ kan nipa aba bɛto aba ɛne yɛ de ewu
okay
because yɛ polling station validation nti register ne cry ne sɛ nipa 300 na to aba polling station a yɛ to yɛ bo ne 300 na di nkɔmɔ yɛnim sɛ 300 ne bɛyɛ 200 bɛto ama
plus or minus deɛ bɛyɛ 200
nti every 30 minutes bi a no yɛ checks from polling stations. Nti about 12 ni who say turn out in yet. About 2 by 12 near turn out be 40%. By 2 na free na cross be 50%. Nti na we see a tini pagum ko a full money a day ko pia ko foba. Nti by 6 no near to me across it say 60 a ba be 70 ho baby. But by 7:30 and you may any results. That national na ne ehwe national na say about be no kuno no ndu ho no. Your check system na ya de a enya de ankunim no beba enti fi ho no de ye ni so abri yen pa ene se ba no pa no fa ba ahomache be 3 am abra ye ne Dr. Baumia di nkomo on kran no no so confirm the same thing say o check ya de na enya de be enti anopa no timi anopa no me fi constituency na me di me ka ba no ho fie
right
ena de wo se ye ya ono so ba bontin be ka say Ghana sani asomdwe ebetena Ghana ntino on pese tension beto aso waye numbers na we ho ba bi agina nti eje mu efi ho ba bedu na de adwendwen ne reforms ne ahodo a wo se adwendwen ho na no na efi ase at the same time so parliament if am fi parliament na be vetting ne ade ayeye ama ban no ene nhihye wo se yeye ma parliament na fi na adwuma sani eguso ayeye
onu se bibia firu ho se wo ye minister na hu se sa portfolio no nkita obi wo wonu sɛ bibia firi ho
memo de da bi esan sɛ ahobrase mu nya de di kan a fa ne sɛ ma begina simpie bi so ansa na me ba be politics no na me gina simpie kɛse bi so nti obo anidie 107.3 nimu ne ade nti sɛ benye minister die na be ma saa emframa no bɔfa me ho me be di minister so aban dan ne ade nyina ma nkɔ ankɔtena bi mu da meja me fie na mete of course aban cars me no ane yɛde ma me office wɔ na me use ne ade and the be 3rd December we because na me trimu no menim sɛ ye we ne kra mesan atena ministry ho bio nti be 3rd December kra na me de aban cars ne ne ma nyina kokɔma no nti me ankasa me mu de da bi
ne 3rd December na wa wo de kɔye
oh why because na by 7th January no ye be hand over ama president a oba no ye ne nim say Dr. Baumia na eba no so we decide ni po ba betena works and housing ho nti handing over notes ni ade nyina wo hwe transition act no so ye ni na ahead of time nti nyina nti me ankasa me mu de da bi na mum say obi a me party ba hwe say party ni na tumi ahwere yen na yaba opposition na niema nke betumi aye de aboa ɔman no ni nipa bebree sisi saa ahoɔden ni hɔ no ɛno na mehu sɛ ɛfiri yɛ nyinaa yɛ mu but sɛna meka dɛ nyame yɛ bia na yɛ yɛbɛyɛ adwuma na yɛapere na nyame dom yɛn na yɛsan ba aban mu a yɛtumi ayɛ deɛ sen deɛ ɛyɛ first time yi
mohu sɛ saa storm no ɛban pipi so anaa
obi a ɔbɛka sɛ na ne tirim yɛ ne dɛ sɛ biribiaa yɛ yɛbɛwini no na kyerɛ sɛ nipa korɔ ɔnyɛ politician sɛ yɛkɔ yɛnim nyinaa no na obiara te aseɛ sɛ nneɛma mu ɛyɛ den titiri wobɛyɛ 2022 hɔ ba no nneɛma mu yɛ den nti yɛkɔ so ane Ghanafoɔ kasa yɛ tie yɛhwɛ sɛnea yɛbɛdane dane nneɛma mu na mmom nsesa no a ne yɛhwehwɛ no ɛba late kakra
be 2024 ni mu ansa economic turnaround no starting. Ti by that time na nkofo bebre aye o madwen say aba no kra ye nkoto. Wo hwe ne saade a wo beka say na ya there the signs were on the wall. Wo hwe ne the other side so na beka say senior na ye boy homodin a afi o ma na ombuafu kra bi ebo start edwo ne ne ma improve no so no nka no so my hope pa ba ka ni na bisia ni a ankose na na ehwe no de hia ne se ebesua bibia afrim na ya prepare ho to be able to win the confidence Ghana for Ghana for bebre fan say omugidi away mu ekofom no credit o kan no ai free
omugidi awo MPP mu
ekofom because of name bi ayeye wa bam de wo say any say sua lessons bi na de correct sa na ma no na Ghana for gidi ayeden epeja no mama ya kwanya biom na yenya opportunity ni biom a baby ye to sin ya nsan repeat ni biom
ona mo transidin a o ka bibi ma me take you back akra say o constituency ofuase ayirebi a point in time breko nso still na manfo ma so mo beto aba ndi ese mo to mo wafuom mo ofie mo ne mo kasa mo ba abonten beto aba no why your assessment kakra bisa DNT a no mo nye ready so beto aba in general.
Oh yes and enye me honkwa Ghana afana bebre edika MPP strongholds ni bebre asama o mo kan say ye ne to aba ma mo kwa abam na do say mo hwe projects a mo cheche projects na de mo ankai say yen yedi mu akotene sen ebi mu enti yen yempotam projects bebrea na ye hwe anim say ya to aba ma mo be ya man no mo nwie projects no mo dem nsa keka bi but mo nwie yedi mu ho ya wo ho 2 sikasema ho kire ba ye mo akire mu de kofa ba ye nanso mo anso anu ntem ma na nso ye ni 3 ade ba ko twa nkofo nsuno mu pa om se ne nyina ne yedom MPP no nso party na se nipa kakra bi ene tumi kasa wo party nim ye yi pani a fa ne se constituency nipa 10,000 ana 20,000 ene to abama MPP no ye yi pani a na nipa be 200 pe akoshe dem ama ko gigiska no